This is Mark Pomerantz, a former special prosecutor for the case against Donald Trump in New York, and he resigned from the case in 2022 because he said that prosecutor Alvin Bragg should have brought charges against Donald Trump even sooner than he did. After leaving the case, he went on to write a book called The People vs. Donald Trump. Since he wrote a book that was critical of Donald Trump, naturally CNN had to bring him on to be a hero of democracy.
A fight between prosecutors over whether or not to charge former President Donald Trump with financial crimes is spilling into public view, all because of a new book from a former Manhattan prosecutor who was working on the case. That former assistant district attorney is Mark Pomerantz, an expert on white-collar crime with a ton of experience prosecuting and defending organized crime cases. Pomerantz says that if prosecutors were looking at similar evidence against anyone other than the former president, charges would have been brought in a, quote, flat second. He also compares Trump to John Gotti, the head of the Gambino organized crime family. The book gives a searing criticism of Manhattan's current DA, Alvin Bragg's decision not to bring charges last year, a decision that Pomerantz resigned over 1 year ago this month. But Bragg says that, quote, Mr. Pomerantz's plane wasn't ready for takeoff, and that it's appalling that he insulted the skill and professionalism of our prosecutors. Pomerantz's book about his time in the investigation, The People vs. Donald Trump, an Inside Account, is out now, and he joins us live. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It is a riveting read, and it's a really important read for everyone to understand what you saw, what you did, and what didn't happen. What I find interesting is that you didn't used to talk to journalists. You're known for saying, I don't leak, right? Now you're out here with wanting to tell the world this story. Why did you write this?
Well, I wrote the book because it was an important story to tell. However one feels about Donald Trump, he is one of the central public figures of our time. And if, as I came to believe and as others came to believe, he committed crimes, there was a substantial case to be brought, and he needed to be held accountable for those crimes.
Following the release of the book came a congressional investigation leading Pomerantz to be called in to testify, where he was asked about many things in the book, and he refused to answer any questions for the most part.
How long have you known Alvin Bragg?
Same answer.
Fifth Amendment?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you respect Alvin Bragg?
Same answer.
And how frequently did you go to the office when you were a special district attorney? Did you have an office physically at that address?
The office is located in several buildings around One Hogan Place. It's not all in one contiguous space of offices. There were several office premises. Having clarified that, I'm not going to answer your question about how often I was physically at the offices of the Manhattan District Attorney.
Did you have your own desk there?
Again, I'm not going to respond to your question.
On the basis of what?
On the basis of the fifth paragraph of my statement. Conveniently, Mr. Castor, the fifth paragraph relates to the Fifth Amendment. So,
since you've left the employ of the Manhattan VA, do you use email as a method of communication?
I decline to answer your question.
And who's your current email provider?
I decline to answer that question as well.
On the Fifth Amendment grounds?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be pedantic, I'm just trying to make correct.
No, I understand that.
And
I appreciate that.
And who's your current cell phone provider?
Likewise, I refuse to answer that question on the basis of my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
Have you since come to a decision to revise that conclusion?
I decline to answer. I acknowledge writing the book, but I'm not going to expand beyond what is contained in the book for the reasons reflected in my opening statement.
Did they really say go get it?
Again, Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to respond beyond what is printed in the book.
Did they not say go get it?
Not going to answer your question. On the advice of counsel, I'm not going to answer that question. Sir,
Asserting a privilege.
privilege against self-incrimination.
And did you knowingly break any laws when investigating President Trump?
Objection.
Same response.
Did you break any laws when you worked at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office?
Objection.
Same response.
Ms. Pomerantz, did you violate any person's constitutional rights when you worked on the Trump investigation?
Objection.
I have the same response to your question. I
Mr.
will
Pomerantz,
do
did
so.
you violate any person's constitutional rights while you worked at the Manhattan DA's office?
Objection.
Same answer.
Did you misuse any federal funds while investigating President Trump?
Same response.
Did you misuse any federal funds while you were working in the Manhattan District Attorney's office?
Same response.
And did you violate any New York State bar rules while you were investigating President Trump?
Objection.
Same response.
Did you violate any New York State bar rules while you were working in the Manhattan District Attorney's office?
Objection.
Same response.
And did you violate any canons of legal ethics when you were investigating President Trump?
Objection.
Same response.
Did you ever violate any canons of legal ethics while you worked at the Manhattan District Attorney's office?
Objection.
The same response.
So to sum it up, taxpayer dollars were used to prosecute a former president, and then one of the prosecutors working on that case gets called into a congressional investigation and decides, I'm not going to answer anything about it.
I get instructions from my wife